Hello comrades and welcome to ReginaldESQ. I'm Underhook and this is my review of the Russian premium tier 2 light tank, the Tetrarch. So is it any good? Yeah, it's not a bad tank, especially considering it's a premium tank. Premium tanks often have a fatal flaw. I think they do that so that you can't say it's pay to win. And this one does have some flaws, but it also has some really good points about it, so it's quite a good tank. Being a premium tank, you can use it to train your crew. Like these three crew I have in here are actually out of my MT25, my tier 6 Russian light tank. And it is good for helping to train your crew. It does fit 3 crew in it. And so being a premium, you don't have to retrain them for this tank. They will work as if they are a fully trained crew in this tank because it's a premium tank. Also, being a premium tank, it's supposed to earn a little bit extra XP and a little bit extra credits. Now, I actually won this tank in for some mission or something I had to do a little while back, and I've been driving it every now and then. Now, let's get into review and have a little bit of a talk about this tank. So, it has 140 hit points, which is actually really poor for a tier 2 light tank. So, it's low on hit points. Also, weighs in at around 7.5 to 8 ton, which is light. Do not ram anybody in this tank. You'll end up coming off really badly, and because you have low hit points in the first place, it's a very bad tank to use for ramming, so try and avoid being rammed as well. It is fast, 64 kilometers an hour in forward, and it does reach that speed, and 20 kilometers an hour in reverse. It's a fast tank. It's actually the second fastest at tier 2. I think the fastest is the T2 Light, which is also a premium tank, that does 72. But yeah, this is very quick. Has a good track traverse as well of 47 degrees. It's pretty good for tier 2. And the turret traverse of 43 degrees a second is very good for tier 2. So very good maneuverable tank, which you would think, okay, it's good at, you know, circling other tanks and engaging other tanks in that way. But in fact, no, it's really bad at that. Definitely don't do that. It has basically no armor whatsoever. So you've got low hit points and no armor, which means that if we're trading shots with people, we're going to die really quickly, because as well as that, the damage that the gun does, it does low damage per shot. So we don't do a lot of damage, no armor and low hit points means that we're going to get smashed in one-on-one confrontations. Even say popping out from behind cover and taking a shot and then popping back, if they're hitting you while you're taking that shot as well, then we're gonna die. And the thing is too, the aiming time on this gun is quite slow, and if you don't fully aim, it probably will miss. So yeah, exchanging fire, like popping out, it doesn't do that well. What it does well is hide in a bush 10 miles away and shoot. It really is basically a tank destroyer with a turret, pretty much, and that's pretty much, I think, how we need to play this tank. Now, it has 260 meters of view range, which is awful. I don't know if it's the worst view range of a tier 2 tank. I know the T2 Light, the other premium, the American premium, has 260 meters view range as well, which is also terrible. But for example, the M2 Light and the Cruiser 1 both have 320 meter view range. Even one of the other Russians, the T60, has 300 meters view range. So 260 is awful, and you do rely on other tanks to spot for you a bit. Now, I have vents fitted and binoculars fitted to try and help boost the view range a little bit. I also have a camouflage net fitted because it's really important for this tank to remain hidden. Now, camouflage wise, this tank is around about average. To get a size comparison, the Panzer 2D that we got for, I think, for this Christmas is a premium tank. You can see size wise it's quite similar. It's not as long as the Panzer 2, but I think it might be a little bit higher. So height is usually the determining factor in camouflage, so it's probably slightly worse or maybe the same as the Panzer 2D to give you an idea of the camouflage. Not as good, of course, as the TK, which has, I think, the best of all the tier 2s for camouflage. And to give you a size reference, that's a T18 right there, and there's our Tetratch again. So, gun depression. It has 10 degrees of gun depression, which is really, really good. Not as good as the Cruiser 1, which has 14 degrees, but 10 degrees is still very good and does enable you to fight well on hills, insofar as you only sort of have to expose your turret when shooting over hills. Now, the turret isn't well armored, so you'll still get penetrated. It won't make it stop you getting penetrated, but it will give them a smaller target if you have to do it. The gun elevation is 25 degrees, which is also pretty good. So this tank sucks when there's no camouflage. So for example, maps like Himmelsdorf, it's tough to play this tank and it's tough to do well, because basically when you're shooting at people, they know you're there because there's no bushes to hide behind, and they will return fire, and you basically in Himmelsdorf end up exchanging shots, and this tank never does well when it's exchanging shots, especially if they've got HE. You just get blown to bits. Let's have a look at the gun. There's nothing to grind on this tank because it is a premium tank. It's a 40mm gun, has a rate of fire of 21 rounds per minute, which is not bad. Penetration is its strongest feature. 64mm of penetration at tier 2 is really good, and will penetrate most tier 3s. Well, it'll penetrate all tier 3s, just some of them you have to sort of get shots into weak areas, but it still is very good. If you want to use premium ammunition, 121mm of penetration, which, crikey, that's like the KV1 tier 5 heavy tank has 120mm of penetration. So at 121 you can penetrate any tank you're going to meet without having to aim for weak spots. So if you've got lots of money, you could do that. The damage though is low, 45 damage per shot. There are some tier 1 tanks that do similar damage to that, and a lot of tier 2s do more than that. So damage is low. However, and this is the thing you got to watch in this tank too. Like I said, the armor's terrible and the damage isn't high. Even tier 1 tanks are a major threat to you in this tank, because tier 1 tanks, like say a T1 which has a multi-fire cannon, every shot that hits you will penetrate. So tier 1 tanks can rip you to pieces before you can reload enough to destroy them. So even like I said, you can't take on a tank, we can't take on tanks head to head, you know, one on one. Even a tier 1 tank can beat us in that situation in this tank, so you've got to be really careful. 0.4 accuracy is not bad for tier 2 tank. It's not great, but it's not terrible either, so it's alright. 2.3 second aim time is slow at tier 2, and it does feel painfully slow. If you pop out from behind a rock to have a shot, sometimes you don't have a choice, and by the time you aim, they've hit you. And they're doing more damage than we're doing per shot. So if you keep popping out to take a shot, they keep hitting you, keep hitting them, we're just gonna die. So yeah, that doesn't work well. And if you don't fully aim, you usually don't hit. So it's a tough tank to play in that respect. We really need to be hiding at long range. All right, so I think I've said I've got binoculars, camouflage net, and vents fitted. I have small repair kit, large repair kit, large first aid kit fitted, and my crew in this tank are fully trained because they're from another tank. That all the crew are 100% trained in camouflage, so the camouflage you see in game is a little bit better than you can expect with an untrained crew. My commander also is 80% on mentor. This guy's 79% on snapshot, and this guy is 79% on smooth ride. So let's have a look in Tank Inspector and then get into a game. So the Tetrarch in Tank Inspector. Let's get into the colorized view and have a look. So the red section you can see here, which is the entire front of the tank and the front of the turret, is 16mm thick, which won't stop anybody. But I know what you're saying, what about that mantlet on the turret there? That looks like it'll be all right. No, it's also 16mm. However, in parts right on the edge it does overlap the 16mm underneath, but for most of it it's just the 16. Same with these bits down here, they are 16 for most of it. The driver, they obviously don't care about the driver because he only gets, or she only gets 14mm. The side of the tank is 14mm, as is the side of the turret. Rear is 10mm, and the top is 7mm. So basically, treat this tank as though it has no armor because it doesn't have any.
Time to roll out.
The map is Melanovka. It's a tier 2 match, and there are 3 tier 1s on each team as well. Not that that's that great for us, because even tier 1s can penetrate us with every shot because our armor is very weak, and we pretty much have tier 1 hit points. And as you can see, the tank is seriously fast, and we are trying to move to an aggressive early spotting position, even though the view range is pretty short. I'm not expecting anyone else to do a really good job of spotting, and I need to see tanks from a hidden position, so I'm going to try and do a little bit of spotting. So I go to this bush to start with, see if anybody's quickly trying to cut across anywhere. But you can see that I'm not spotting all the way to their cap from here, and I'm not even spotting all the way across in front of me very well. You can see my view range just isn't good enough, even with binoculars. Now this tank does rely on teammates to do the right thing, and I see now I've got some more teammates moving up. Sometimes you can go here and be the only tank on this side of the map. In this case I've got some more. I've got a guy here and I've got some people going up the top of the hill as well, even though that looks like he's a tier 1. So because I've got that, I decide to move forward to the next bush. So if I do spot something, there's people to shoot it, and if they spot something, I can shoot at what they're shooting. So I take this position. My camouflage net and my binoculars have kicked in. I'm still not seeing anything. Now this other guy has spotted this tier 1 L tractor, so I'm going to see if I can get a shot here. Get one in. I'm not sure if I've been spotted or not. The ammo rack him. 3 shots to kill the tier 1, and I think someone else hit him as well. Is this Panzer II going to come out? Looks like he will. Now, I've lost sight of him. I'm going to assume he's there and just fire, and actually he hadn't come out far enough yet. Get one into him, and he backs away, and there's a medium 2 being spotted. As you can see, the gun takes a while to aim. It might not look like a long time now, but when you're playing a tier 2 game and the other tank is aiming at you, you realise how slow it is compared to your opponents. B2 might be an easier shot at the moment. I managed to miss him, and someone else finishes him off. Medium 2 is still making his way up, and he obviously hasn't been able to see me, which is good. So my camouflage is holding up in this bush with my camouflage, and I haven't moved my tracks deliberately so that my camouflage net stays active. But as you see, I'm not pushing forward at this stage. I'm being very, very careful because this tank, once spotted, especially, you know, it's just gets destroyed really quickly. So I decide now to move up to this next bush here. Hopefully not getting spotted on the way to it. And then I decide, I just get a rush of blood and decide I'm going to go up behind this Panzer II and clean him up. Even though there's probably tanks on my left, I'm not spotted, and the Panzer hasn't spotted me yet. I decide I'm just going to drive up and put some shots into him. And I go for a tracking shot here, but he pulls out. I was going for his back wheel to track him. Someone shot at me, so I have now been spotted, and now I've just been hit by a medium 1 in the back. So he's a tier 1 tank. He's hit me and done 54 damage to me, and our gun does an average of 45 damage. So you can see how tier 1s can even kill you. So now I pull around here, and I'm just going to wait till I go off the radar, because there was a few people, I think, shooting at me there. So we've got a T2 medium, there's a T1 coming down, a BT2, so plenty of support. So this tank does need support, and if you don't have support from teammates, you can find like you can be out here all on your own and you're stuffed, because once you get spotted they just come and kill you. And like I say, you can't fight one-on-one. You've got to be sneaky in this tank to stay alive, and because it doesn't have a great view range, you do rely on others to help. So if you're in a really crap team, good chance you won't do well in this tank. You do need a reasonable team with people who have a vague idea of what they're doing. Lloyd gun carrier's gone down the hill a little bit too far for us to get a shot. I deliberately knock over this tree to give myself some camouflage, and there's an M2 light. Look how long it took to aim. See, it's not just the aim time, it was how long it took to start aiming after you've stopped moving. I think movement really upsets the aim on this gun. It really throws the aim right off. Even though I've got snapshot and smooth ride as skills with my crew, like 80% on those skills, still seems to take ages. Watch how long it takes before it even starts aiming. Now it starts aiming, so it took ages before it even started aiming. Anyway, M2 light, we're getting shots into him. As you see, good pen. Now I'm just going to keep firing blind for a little bit here, which isn't advised in this tank, firing blind, because you don't have a lot of ammo. And I did completely lose track of how much ammunition I had in this game.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
And here we go. he's going to come into my view. Yep. So I'll wait till I fully aim, and
Armor is hit.
I think I actually fired before I fully aimed. We got one into him. He looks like he's moved now. Oh, someone else has killed him. And M2 light is back in there. So now I'm blind firing again. I may well be hitting him. Oh, and we finish him off. Oh, we've done pretty well. We're on 4 kills. Unfortunately, quite a few of the guys who are with me, they've all died. But there's 2 more tanks coming down. Now, Artie, brilliant play by the Artie, and a T60 coming down on my right at the moment. So I'm not keen on moving forward. I'm keen on letting them do the spotting for me. I know it seems selfish, but I have played this game before where I have been the one to move down at the front, and all of a sudden a couple of tanks see you and bang bang and you're dead. That's it. All over. Here we go. Now I don't know if I spotted him or they spotted him, but we've got a cruiser. I'm kind of worried that when I shoot I'm going to give away my position, but I figured just go for it. So we get a shot in there. They're hitting him as well. As you can see, the accuracy is not bad for tier 2, but it's just still not good overall. So I managed to get him. The Lloyd gun carrier is down there. I'm thinking about heading over towards him, but I want to be careful. Here we go. Looks like we've got a shot. Missed somehow. Looked like it was going to hit. That one goes in. Blind fire. We got him. Nice. Oh, that's our Top Gun. We've got 6 kills. Yay! So they have only got 2 tanks left, a D1 and that Panzerjäger 1. That Panzerjäger 1 has got 4 kills, and that has a very good gun which could hurt me really badly very quickly. So I have to be careful here. But I feel like I've had a good game. I've got Top Gun. We're probably going to win. Yeah, even if I get shot, I'll probably spot whoever shoots at me. So I'm kind of thinking maybe I should just move forward and say, hang it, you know, what the hey, just go for it. Our Artie is moving forward on the right there. Good player. He's doing side to side. It looks like it's pretty clear to the right. So I'm going to move forward and then turn around and go through where these houses are. That's my plan. And those houses will give me hard cover. I can go behind if I need to. And then see if there's anyone I can spot and then come up behind him or something. And a D1. I don't know if it was me spotting. I think it might have been. I'm lining up. It looks like he's turned his back to me. I don't think that's his front. Now we're close enough to be able to hit him pretty consistently. Can we get this last shot in? Oh! He nearly got away. So what are we on? 7 kills. There's only 1 tank remaining, so I figure, hey, I want that kill now. I'm going to go for it. I'm moving across. See if he's down here, maybe get behind him. And I think a shot just went near me then. Someone fired a shot at me. I haven't got 6th sense, but I think I was spotted. So now I'm just moving up a little bit to see. I can see this dead tank, but I decided to go forward to the next lot of rocks. Now I move forward past that dead tank in the bushes, so I've got cover, but it looks like he's aiming at me. And indeed, he just fired at me, but missed. I fire a shot, which someone else got the kill before me. And yeah. Okay, so we did get Top Gun, and it was also a mastery game in the tank. I don't know if you noticed there, but at the end, I only had 3 rounds left, and they were premium. So I fired all my 45 regular rounds, and then I ended up using 2 of my premium rounds. One of them went nowhere because I fired at the tank and he died before my shot got there. And the other one must have gone. That last shot into the D1 must have been one of them as well. So yeah, if you have a good game, possibly you run out of ammo. Now, we did good game. As you can see there, we actually did quite a bit of spotting. So we were spotting quite a few of those tanks. And obviously got spotting damage for that as well. And obviously we hit a lot of tanks too. So we finished on top for XP and finished well on top for damage on our team. But I did get a lot of help. That medium one, the T1, these 2 tier 1 guys played a fantastic game. The Artie played a great game, so I had a lot of help. But yeah, hey, that was good. Good team. So I fired 47 shots and 31 of them hit, which is not bad considering they're fairly long range, a lot of those shots. But the really positive part about this gun is out of the 31 hits, 26 of them penetrated. So the gun has really good penetration. Now, we did 991 damage, which is a lot in a tier 2 game, I think. About 25% of that, or a quarter of that, was from long range. We only received one hit, and it did damage us. We spotted 2, damaged 9, destroyed 7, and we did 362 assistance damage, which is actually a pretty good amount of assistance damage as well. 22,000 income, and even though we did fire a couple of premium rounds, we still managed to make 19,000 profit, which is not bad. You do get extra credits from premium tanks. That's pretty good for a tier 2. So yeah, 1,000 and is that 63, I think, raw XP is enough for mastery in the tank. Alright. Thank you for watching my review of fine Russian tank Tetrarch. If you like a review, please give a thumbs up. If you like to see more review, please subscribe to ReginaldESQ. Have fun.